happy April. April showers bring May flowers. We don't want any more rain. Is it snowing still where you are?
No, thank goodness. But I mean, honestly, like I'm hesitant to say that because we have had snow in April before. So knock on wood.
Oh, I'm knocking for you. I feel like we're literally drowning in California. Like it's one or the other. There's no rain, there's no water, or it's nothing but water and rain. And we just aren't built for this. Our roads aren't built for it. We're not built for it. It's not a good thing. It's a good thing, but not a good thing. Like we're over it.
We're built for rain. Like we can have we can have the monsoons and whatever. Like we're good for rain. We're good for it. Snow?
No.
I can do rain.
Well, I just want sun right now. Like Mexico, when you said that sounds like where I want to be.
Desperately, yeah.
But hello, everyone. We just kind of jumped right in there. Welcome back to AstroLove. You know how we do it. You know, this is always a party. I believe it's a coffee morning party this time. Cheers. Shout out to Angie for her just farting around coffee mug.
Oh my God, that was not the time to take a sip of coffee.
Have it come through your nose. That would be hilarious.
All the reasons to watch on YouTube.
Exactly. The after parties over there. Seriously, I'm actually getting really inspired too with all of these after parties or after the show segments they're doing now on, because we have to have our pop culture moment. But like the Housewives after the show, or I really got into The Last of Us. Did you watch that?
No, but I've been told many times that it is like required viewing.
Yeah, it was intense, and I was not familiar with it. But what I really appreciated was the after show, and for me, not knowing anything about it, getting that extra time with the characters and understanding what was behind the script, the dialogue, the story. It was awesome. It's such just a great add-on. So yeah, that's one more thing I'm adding to the list. There's going to be an after show at some point.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love
so much to do.
That's a prime opportunity to use like our preamble, like the half-hour session that we have catching up beforehand, because like there's the tea.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness. But we have so much coming up. I'm already excited. I already have chill bumps. I feel like we're breaking through. We are in the new year, Aries.
We are happy New Year, everybody. It has finally happened.
Finally. Aries energy is flowing through. And I believe we're heading into Taurus. Did I get that right?
Yes. Like halfway through April. The date exactly will be on the 20th. Where the sun moves into Taurus and we enter Taurus season, which I love. I
love it too.
I also love Aries season because you guys know how I roll. I love all my Astro children equally.
I really got into Taurus last year, and that sounds really weird to say, but like literally I did. I don't know why, but Taurus became like a big thing for me, and the touring and energy behind it, and I met a few Taurus people as well, and it was just like, I am loving this vibe. I'm loving like just the luxury of it.
I feel like Taurus gets really underrated. Like my first boyfriend was a Taurus and my best friend is a Taurus. Like I really love a Taurus.
Yeah.
It's glorious. It's just like I recently dated a guy who was a Taurus, and I really like, there was a timing situation with him that just wasn't right, but like top tier. Can't recommend it enough. Get you a Taurus.
Well, I can't wait to hear the justice for Taurus.
It's gonna be good. I have a lot of passionate feelings about Taurus.
I love it.
You know what? I also like, one of my first like really exciting guys was an Aries. So I'm also like a big justice for Aries.
Yes. I agree. I had the same experience. And it's crazy because out of the blue, he like called me. I'm like, oh, did I channel that or?
Was this recently?
Yes, like 3 days ago, out of the blue. Haven't talked in like a year. And I'm like, whoa, who is this on my phone?
Oh, I love it. Was that around the full moon?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because the full moon I think was, oh gosh, what's today? 23rd. Yeah, it was just a few days ago. Oh my God.
Right.
Aries messing with us.
I love it.
It's all good. It's all good. It's sad.
Can you hear the dogs?
No.
Okay, good. They're like, you guys, we have some guests that you might be hearing in the background. I've got 3 wiener dogs with me. Right now, 2 of them are like snarling at each other, fighting over a toy, like literally underneath the chair that I'm sitting on.
Oh, I do hear them now. Okay, all of a sudden, just when you said that, it's very subtle though. It's more like a purr. We are a dog-friendly show. It's okay.
They've got like the tiniest piece of fabric that they're like both like playing tug of war with.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's a question for you. Because I know in human design, we can also look up our pets charts.
Yeah.
What is it like with astrology and pets?
I think it's pretty much along the same lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that would be fun. I didn't think of that until today, but yeah, they have birthdays too, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they can also be in that
I've never
energy.
done it, but yeah, I don't see why not. I think it's pretty much the same thing.
Especially since you were saying that the youngest one has such a personality. Like if you had to guess what would, or you probably know what their sign is.
I believe she's a Leo. Oh, that is too much.
Oh no. This is gonna be fun.
They should be okay now. That they seem to disperse.
Well, it's funny because I was on a podcast recently and the woman channels like her spirit guides come through. And so that was an interesting conversation because she would just be like, why would you say that? Where'd that come from? And then she'd come back to me. And I was like,
okay, so this is going to be like the same experience, except I will be talking to my animals.
And I don't doubt that she wasn't talking to her spirit guides, but it was just really interesting. Literally, there was like this extra person in the room, you know, spirit in the room. It was just interesting. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We're going to get to the segment soon, but you know we have to have our pre-talk.
I'm confiscating the toy because this is too much.
Punishment. No toy for you.
It's been so chill all morning, and then literally like 10 minutes before we started, they started getting all antsy and crazy. I was like, what is going on? Like, how do you guys know that this is exactly what I need you to know?
They know. It's okay. We love them anyway.
We do. We love their precious souls. They have the sweetest faces. They just like look up at me with their big eyes and their pointy snoots. Oh, I love them. So I love a ween. And that is a pull quote.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's get into it.
Let's, shall we? Oh my God, you guys, we are rolling in April. We are rolling in Aries energy. It is Aries season. We have started the astrological chart. It is the new year. We've got this new fiery, exciting energy happening. We love Aries. New beginnings. That's what it's all about. We're looking at the world with fresh eyes, fresh energy, a can-do attitude. But more importantly, the attitude does not have space for cannots. That doesn't exist in Aries. And that's one of the things that I love most. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a desire, there is the end point. There is success. I love it.
I love that. Okay, one question before you go any further because you said that. I know yesterday was a major moment with Pluto coming back. What's the word?
Yeah. So Pluto has shifted into a new sign, which is ushering in a new era. But Pluto will be, so we're just getting like a little taste of what's going on because Pluto will retro back for a moment. So between now and June, I can't remember the exact dates, we're going to test what this new era is going to be like, what the themes are going to come up. And then in mid-June, it's going to go backwards again in the place that has been for the last couple decades. We'll finish up our ties there, and then it's going to move forward. And that is in 2024. That's going to be like the next theme, the next era for like the next couple of decades, because Pluto moves slow. So these are like, we can look back in history and plot out exactly what was going on based on Pluto. Pluto's a generational planet. Right. So these are the new themes that we're moving into. And it's been a long time since Pluto's been in this. I think it's been since like the 1800s or something like that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that energy doesn't necessarily affect or work with Aries and what's happening in that area, or it all just kind of plays together. Okay.
So right now, like this is just like paying attention to the general themes of what's happening in the world over the next few months. It's going to give us an idea of in our lives, but mostly like societally, what's going to be happening and shifting for us as a collective and the direction that we're going to be moving into. So it's definitely going to be things that are more, we're moving into this age where it's going to be more about like our togetherness. It's going to be more about valuing each other, less about individualism. It's just going to be more about our humanity and helping each other out and how we can progress forward. Kind of let go of the cloudiness that we've been in for a while, starting to really ask the questions of why we have the structures that we have and how can we keep what we've learned to make the world better, but how can we let go of the things that are anchoring us down so that we can move forward?
Love that.
Yeah.
It's time for that. Yes.
Big time.
Yes.
Big time. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out over the next few months. So just everyone keep your eyes peeled.
Cool. Okay. Just wanted to double check. Carry on.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Aries, our celeb Aries friends, these two are driving me bananas, man.
It's just like soft background music.
Oh, okay. So our celebrity Aries friends, we have the internet's favorite heartthrob, Pedro Pascal is an Aries, honey.
Oh my gosh. Nice.
Our girl Reese Witherspoon.
Hello, sunshine.
Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker are also Aries, which I love for them.
Oh, Jessica very cool.
Chastain, Shaka Khan, Diana Ross, Eddie Murphy, the always ageless Paul Rudd, Elton John, the love of my life, Robert Downey Jr., and my queen, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, and Lady Gaga.
Oh my, all three of them? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the three of them in a room together?
There isn't enough room.
I know, there's not.
They are
not enough air.
And it is like Aries is diva energy. Like they are the center of their own universe. There is nothing that they cannot accomplish. If someone tells them no, they will say, watch. They're unstoppable because they've decided that that is what they want. They don't know. Like Aries, if we think about Aries is that new baby energy. They don't know that things can't work. They haven't been affected by the world yet. So there is like an innocence and almost like an ignorance and arrogance about them where, you know, they don't know what limitations are yet because they haven't really tested those boundaries. So they really do have that ultimate like can-do attitude. They understand that if there is a desire, they've been given that desire for a reason. And so there has to be a way for them to accomplish their goal. And every single one of them, Elton John and Mariah Carey, I just listened to podcasts about them. Shout out to Even the Rich. They do like these like 4 to 5 episode series on celebrities, and they go through their life stories.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's really interesting. Like Mariah Carey, she has a stunning voice. Her mom was a diva, but she came from a family where like there wasn't a lot of room for her, a lot of opportunity. She is like, she went through a lot of like confusion with her race, not really knowing like where she fit in. She had this stunning voice, but no one could give her an opportunity because there wasn't a space in the music industry that fit for her, because they wanted her, because she was light skinned, they wanted her to sing like she was a white girl, like pop music, but her soul was in R&B, and she wanted to bring that soulful sound, but they're like, you don't fit in that package, so it doesn't work yet. So she had to like work really hard to carve in this space and build this career and this foundation for herself. And she's also responsible for us really shifting that perspective of diva being like a bad name to call someone. Like, you want to be a diva.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And same thing with Elton John. Like, Elton John wanted to be in music. He wanted this career. But there wasn't a space for him to really fit in. So he was just always about taking chances and moving forward and building his career up. And no matter how many times someone said no, Robert Downey Jr. is one of my favorite Rising Phoenix stories of all time, because he went through so much. Like, his dad worked in the movie industry, so he is like a nepo baby in that way, but his dad was all about like the indies. He wasn't about mainstream. He didn't believe in like selling your soul. His dad was also an addict, so Robert was like drinking by the age of 13. He was like born with addictions issues, essentially. But he got to a point where like he wasn't insurable, so no one could even hire him, because he had gone through so much crap and he had pulled so many stunts with drugs and alcohol. He also actually did date Sarah Jessica Parker for quite a while.
That's true. I remember that. Yeah.
He was also on Ally McBeal and like Resurrected Ally McBeal, which is one of my favorite shows growing up for a while.
Yeah.
And he was only around for one season because he ended up having to go to jail. So he spent 2 years in prison. Yeah.
Yes.
And when he got out of prison, he was uninsurable. Like, studios could not hire him because they couldn't insure the films because he was so unpredictable. And then he ended up getting the role of Iron Man because somebody really went to bat for him and convinced Disney to move forward with it. And now Robert Downey Jr. is the highest grossing actor of all time.
It changed his life.
Yeah, because he didn't give up. He knew that this was what he was supposed to do. He knew that he could turn his life around. So this is somebody who, like, the odds were stacked against him. He should not have been able to create what he did, but he knew that it was still possible for him if he just kept going.
Wow. There's a great Netflix show, not show, but docuseries, I guess, where it's him interviewing his dad. Yeah, it's called Senior. Yeah, and it's just him and his dad the whole time, and just talking about their relationship together, and his dad, how he grew up and his time in the industry, and yeah, all of that.
I love Robert Downey Jr., like, go do some research on him. I don't know like how you can't fall in love with him, learning about his story or like watching interviews with him and stuff. Like, I love him so much.
That is a true like hero's journey experience. So if you are confused on what that looks like,
several times over again.
Yes.
That man has had more chances, but he knew that there like chances don't expire.
Yeah.
You get to have as many chances as you want to give yourself.
That's a quote. That's a good one. Oh, love it. Writing that one down. Okay, so that's the energy. That's what we're in.
That's the energy. That is the energy. So let's get into some fast facts about Aries. Aries marks the spring season. So we're moving into spring. Spring equinox happens on the day that we shift into Aries. So it's big cardinal energy. It's big beginning, initiating energy. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of action. It is fiery. Mars is also the god of war. So there is some like real like angst that can be backing there. So when we're looking at our charts and we're looking at where Mars is in our charts, we're looking at where our drive is, our work ethic, but we're also looking to get to know like what our confrontational styles are. And that can really help us to manage those things. So that's something that whenever I'm looking at like couples charts, I look at where our Marses are so that you guys like the couple can get to know exactly like when you do get into an argument or a disagreement, what are your styles that you're bringing to the table? And so that you can get to know how you can best approach or discuss something with your partner. Same thing within business. It's going to tell you a lot about your style of how you work, how you like to get things done, the kind of people that you need to have surrounding you in order to match your work style, especially if you're moving into entrepreneurship. How can you set yourself up to work in the best way possible? This is where like
that's huge.
Yeah.
Are they still playing?
Oh, okay.
That is everything. Okay, that's good to know. So, okay, when you say as far as like it'll show you your communication style, it'll like, what do you mean exactly by that?
So it shows you like how you would like get into a confrontation or how you would work through it. Mercury will tell you your communication style, but this is more of like your combating style.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for instance, if you do have your Mars in Aries, you're going to be somebody who's like a little more hot-headed and quick to rev up. Whereas if you're somebody who has your Mars in like Cancer or Pisces, you're going to be a lot more mellow because there's a lot of water in there.
Okay, got it. That's exactly what I needed. Thank you.
No problem. My Mars is in Leo, so I am fiery and I am way more bark than I am bite.
I don't get that at all from you. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no. You cross the line with me and it is verbally you are getting it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, good to know.
But it also like it shows for me like there's a reason why I love things like being on like recordings, doing things that are like taking action that are on a stage, because that's like the Leo energy that's coming out. I like to take actions, I like to take big actions, and I like for people to see those actions. I like to make a ripple. I like to be out there. If it's not going to impact some people, I'm not going to waste my time with it.
I love that. I'm all for that. Were you ever in theater, like in school?
No, but I should have been.
Totally. Like, yeah. You should have been on stage then too.
Sure. But I was the kid, like I did in grade 7, like, we would get the opportunity to do like office work in the morning. I'm not sure how, I cannot for the life of me remember how this was positioned for us, but I thought it was the coolest thing. So I would go in early and like help out in the office, but then I'd get to do the morning announcements. So the whole school had to listen to me in the morning.
That was your first platform.
Oh, I lived for it. And I used to love when you'd have to do like class performances and stuff, or when you'd read in class. I remember in high school, like having to read Shakespeare, and everyone hated reading out loud. So we were going through, I think it was Macbeth, and I read the entire, the time that we were studying Macbeth. I basically did the whole thing for us because no one else would volunteer and everyone would get so weird about it. So I would just do it. So I was doing every part in Macbeth in our class and I lived for it. It was a great moment.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I cannot relate to that.
No, but my people out here with Mars and Leo, they will be able to.
Totally.
It also exists in my 11th house, which is also like a very social, very like loves the stage kind of energy.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
These are the fun things when you go looking into your chart that you'll find.
Seriously.
Okay,
and again, if we book a session with you, this is the type of thing where you tell us, you educate us on.
Absolutely. Yes. And let you know like how to leverage these things in your life.
Yeah.
You know, how to use these things that exist for you and how to leverage them into creating like a big, beautiful life that you want, whatever that looks like for you.
Yes. Cool.
Okay, so Aries is obviously fire. It is a fire element. So very much like quick to the draw, action orientated, something that does not like to sit still. It likes to do. It's got big do energy. There's a positive polarity to it, which makes it a very social sign. It likes to be around people. It likes to be doing things. It likes to be constantly moving forward and be like active or activated. And with the cardinal energy, cardinal means that it's an initiator. So it likes to get the ball rolling. It likes to take a leadership role. It likes to, you know, be blazing forward, if you will. So the spirit of the season is I am, and I am capable. Some
Yes.
traits that you'll find in Aries: a very action orientated, very passionate, very bold and confident. They are risk takers. They're very direct and straightforward. There's a lot of bravery associated with Aries. They can also be very impatient and impulsive. So when you think about Aries, some of the archetypes that come into mind about them are they're pioneers. They are not afraid to go into the unknown because they have no idea that they should be even the slightest bit concerned with the unknown. It's exciting to them. The unknown means unlimited possibility. And that's what gets excited of them, not unlimited things that can go wrong. They are like, everything could go right for me, and it will.
I wish I had a bit of that. Seriously.
You do somewhere in your chart.
I need to find it. Oh, get out of the pessimism into the optimism.
Absolutely. Just start thinking like, what would Aries do?
Seriously. You're right. Yes.
Aries makes amazing entrepreneurs, same kind of essence as with the pioneers, right? They make great tour guides, first responders, great in sales and marketing, professional athletes, influencers, day traders, brand directors, attorneys, especially defense attorneys, stunt people, motivational speakers, agents, you know, things that really involve you needing to, you know, check your like nerves at the door kind of energy. Things that really kind of, you think about it and you're like, that takes some real guts to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
So justice for Aries.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Justice for Aries. Aries can sometimes come across as being, you know, called selfish, competitive, being too much of a risk taker, being aggressive or impulsive. And something that I always find really interesting is that like a lot of people will say like, don't be in a relationship with Aries because they've got like short attention spans, impulsive, the competitiveness, they can be hard to handle, right? And sometimes we can look at them as like the ones who are going to cheat. If someone's going to cheat in a relationship, it's going to be an Aries, which I don't think is true. Aries does like to experiment, does like to explore, is impulsive, but there's a beauty to it. And I feel like sometimes they just get a little bit of a bad rap because of some stuff that they pulled in their 20s, where they are testing the boundaries. They are trying to get out there and explore, you know? But there's a lot of lessons in these things that we can really learn from them. It's, yes, they prioritize themselves, but we all should be able to learn from them of how important it is to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves first. But we get our backs up about them because we have this misconception in society that we need to be putting other people's needs above our own. And that just ain't it. It comes back to one of my favorite analogies, which is in an airplane when you put your air mask on before you put anyone else's on. And that is something that Aries knows to the core of their being, is to make sure that their air mask is on before anyone else's. It doesn't mean that Aries is necessarily going to go ahead and do things that are going to, you know, put them ahead at the well-being of other people. They're just always going to make sure that they're being looked after before everyone else is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is what we all should be, keeping in mind of the well-being of other people. You don't want to be like stepping on heads to move forward. That's not cool. But you can make sure that you're stepping ahead and taking care of without doing that. Like it is safe for you to prioritize yourself, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. And yes, they're competitive, but competitiveness is good. It challenges us to move forward and do better. It like really encourages when you see somebody who's competitive, it just means that they want more for themselves. They're seeing that there is more available and they want to make sure that they're pushing themselves to go forward. I'm an enormously competitive person, depending on what it is, but it is a part of me that I've learned to really love. Because it does motivate me to move forward. It stops me from being complacent, from just it settling or just accepting that something's good enough. Like it's fun and it's exciting. And again, like there does come a time sometimes where they can be like a little bit of an asshole with it, but you can call them out and check them.
I will say you have nailed this to the core. Like the people in my life who are Aries, I'm actually afraid of them. I will hide. I will hide from them because they tend to pop up at certain times when I'm just not like, I know that I'm not maybe doing everything I should be doing. And I don't want them to know because they're going to check me.
And they are like, not going to be afraid to call it like it is.
It's like, it's too much honesty. Right. So I will purposely hide from my Aries. They're kind of scary.
They absolutely, because they've got a real bold energy coming to the game. Like they are being full on full force with everything. They don't half-ass a single thing in their lives.
Right.
And a large part of that is because they want so much for themselves. And they just can't conceive that someone else wouldn't want that same kind of energy for themselves. So they're going to be the people who are like pulling you forward with them.
Yes. Which I love, and I shy away from it.
It's uncomfy.
It
can be uncomfy, but it's always uncomfortable because we're pushing ourselves out of that comfort zone. So it's good. It's good for us. But you can also like, they tend to really respond well to directness as well. And that's where we get a little confused. Like when you're talking to somebody who has a strong Aries presence in their chart, they do need directness. They're not going to pick up on subtleties because they're focused on their lane. So you need to be bold and you need to be direct in order for them to recognize. They don't want to be mean. They don't want to make anyone feel bad. And they'll really respond well and respect your directness because you're speaking their language.
That is helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just got to be like, whoa, okay, no, like I'm not like you. I don't like to take those big risks, like light risks. I'm there with you.
Yes. Okay. Boldness, directness, back to them. Got it.
You just got to rip the Band-Aid off and tell them like it is.
Done. Okay.
And they are really big risk takers. So they're people who will just kind of like go blazing forward. And sometimes you might need to say to them like, hey, did you think this through all the way? Just want to check to make sure. But you don't want to tell them, you don't want to approach them and be like, that's too big, that's too bold, that's too risky, and like try to talk them out of it. You just want to check in with them. Okay. Like, hey, did you think about this? And just get them thinking. They might not have seen it because they might not be thinking in that like panoramic view of looking at all the different areas because they're just going on the instinct. They're really
right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's all good. It's just a really fresh, new, exciting energy that they're bringing to the table. They're the people who like feel like it's the first time their soul has hit the planet, you know?
The new baby.
They're the newborn babies. And I'm just going to say it, they tend to be really good in bed. They're really fun.
Mom, if you're watching this, close your ears.
Go find you an Aries.
Yes. So true.
However you want to handle that, it's up to you. So if nothing else, justice for Aries right for that.
Justice for Aries, yes.
They can kind of sometimes, like, especially when they're like in their 20s, like they can kind of really fall into like that fuck boy energy archetype that we talked about. That's really going to show you a good time and be really fun. But as they get older and more mature and experience more life and getting to a point where like Aries will want to settle down, they're going to keep that spiciness and that excitement alive in your relationship. You're not going to have a dull moment with an Aries. And I think that's where some people get trepidatious about being in a relationship with Aries. But this is just remembering again that when you look at your charts, it's keeping in mind that this Aries that you're in a relationship with is somebody who is looking for the next great adventure, looking for excitement and wanting to experience everything in life. They want to soak up every moment of it. So finding a way to create balance in that, especially if you're somebody who tends to be more reserved. Maybe there's some things that you don't experience. Maybe there's times where you do stretch yourself to experience more, but it's just getting into that mindset and seeing where they're at, but really remembering that playing games, communicating with subtleties and hoping that they just like pick up on the hints that you're dropping, not going to be it. Be direct, be bold, say it like it is, and they will respect you a million times more for it.
I love that. That is huge.
Yeah, you will feel a lot easier in your life because you're not going to be frustrated all the time at being like, I've dropped all these hints. Why aren't they getting it?
I feel like I'm very much a breadcrumb person. I hate confrontation. I just want you to like read my mind. Can you just read my mind?
Yeah.
Obviously, an Aries, that's not going to work. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Different approach.
Getting in. They're moving a million miles a minute. They can't even read their own damn mind sometimes. So they're not reading yours.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That's definitely going to be a clip. Make a note. Oh my goodness. I love the way you do this.
Thank you.
Never a dull moment.
Never. Never a dull moment. Okay, so let's talk about some key dates. Get your calendars out, get your notepads out, and let's mark this stuff down, okay?
Got it, ready.
So let's kick this off. April 3rd, we have Mercury moving into Taurus. So this is the energy where you're really starting to turn your wishes into reality. Mercury is going to be moving into Taurus. Taurus is like our workhorse kind of energy. Taurus is going to accomplish our goals. The way that I look at the astrological calendar is the signs are telling a story for us. They're building off of each other. So we're coming out of Mercury and Aries, where we are just kind of like speaking what comes to mind and getting all those things off our chest. And with Taurus coming in, we're really starting to look at what exactly it is that we want to create for ourselves. We've had all these like passions and desires pop up for us, but now we're getting clarity on what exactly it is that we want. And we're formulating a plan to accomplish the goals. It's intentional, it's driven, it is going to really kind of supercharge our mission. So that is going to be the first step that we're going to be taking in this Mercury and Taurus, is really figuring out what are the steps that I need to take to accomplish my mission.
Cool. Got it.
Perfect. So that is some big exciting energy for us.
And especially since we're coming off of at least 2 months of where it was very much like creating the systems. Getting everything cleaned up. Like I remember last month you mentioned, like, I think it's this week actually. We're filming this the last, like the 23rd of March. So I think it's this week actually you said, like, this is the time where you start cleaning. You get rid of, like, in your life, in your house, in your car, in your body, like you do a total like cleanup. to make space. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
feels so on time for now, this next step you're saying, where it's like,
None of this is coincidence, honey.
right. We're making space, we're cleaning house so we can get intentional, we can focus.
Oh, yeah. This is really like Mercury and Taurus is really bringing out the project manager side of things. So this is like, we're getting clear on setting our budget, setting our tasks. We know exactly what it is that we're going to do, because we move through that Aries energy of figuring out all the things that we want, and we've whittled it down to getting an exact idea of what it is that we want to be focusing on. And now we're going to be building the plan to make sure that it happens and holding ourselves accountable to it.
Perfect.
So then on April 6th, we have our full moon in Libra, which is gorgeous, beautiful, peace, love, and harmony energy. It just unlocks our happy, healthy lives and creating balance for ourselves and in our relationships. And this may be a time where we're really starting to look at taking our relationships, especially our romantic relationships, to the next level. So if you are in a long-term committed relationship, it's going to be looking at what's the next phase of your guys' relationship. What is the next thing that you want to accomplish as a partnership? Or if you're single, this might be a time where you are really feeling like, I am ready to switch gears and ready to find my person or be in a relationship, or, you know, scaling it up a little bit there, but somebody to share life with, or figuring out what that looks like for yourself. So this is, yeah, really a time about allowing yourself to let go of past relationship hangups, the past traumas that have been in your head, the things that have been holding you back, the way that you look at yourself, your health, your happiness, and just allowing those stories to be coming up, and to learn how to enhance your partnership communication styles. So making sure that you're really taking the time to also check in with your partner and learning to ask like for more information. Can you tell me more about that? And then what? Starting to like asking and making sure that you're really getting clear on what your partner is looking for, as well as getting comfortable with sharing more on your end as well. Just really kind of laying your cards out on the table and making sure that everyone's feeling good and has the full picture.
So a good time to just check in,
Yeah,
and make sure you're both on the same page, or if you're not, where can you work on that?
exactly.
Okay. I have a friend, they her and her partner have been together for about, I want to say 8 years now. And like they inspire me so much. And literally every quarter they go on a date night where it's like a rediscover date
Ooh,
night, and they just like check in, like, hey, it's just the two of us. Let's talk about how things have been the past
mhm.
few months. Are you happy? Is there anything that you want more of or less of, or any urges or whatever? Like whatever is coming up, they they get together and they create like this safe space where they can just do a check-in.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
so much. That is absolutely beautiful.
So if it's not something you do on a regular basis, then around this time, April 6th would be a good time to do that with
Beautiful,
your love
beautiful time
bug.
to do that. Beautiful.
Yeah. And so if you're single, I mean, this could also be still a good time for yourself, right? To check in with what you're wanting or thinking that you want in a partner. Would that work as well?
Absolutely. And this would also be a time where I would think back on your most recent dates and reflecting on how you were presenting yourself, the questions that you were asking, and kind of doing an audit on yourself of, were you being in alignment with who you want to attract in your life? Were you asking questions? Were you digging deeper in things to get to know this person a little more? Were you guarded? Were you really being vulnerable? Were you, starting to play little games and getting caught up in things like that? And starting to really ask those questions. Because I think like we get so used to when we're going on dates, we can kind of fall into a cycle and keep asking like, you know, we wear the same outfit on the first date. We go to the same locations. We ask the same standard questions. Are you spicing it up? Are you tailoring to the date? Or are you kind of putting on like first date, first date, second date, like, or are you allowing yourself to be present in the moment and getting to know this human being who is unique in front of you and allowing yourself to be your unique human being in front of them?
Yeah, you know that one. I definitely have a first date Brandi attitude.
I have to mentally check myself.
Yes. I didn't even realize that until just now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
New opportunity.
Absolutely. Okay. On the 11th, we have Venus moving into Gemini. And this is a really fun, flirty energy. So this is like friends becoming lovers, lovers becoming friends. Venus is all about romance. Gemini is all about connecting with different people and like taking relationships in all different kinds of directions, really pushing the boundaries with people, breaking barriers. So this is an exciting opportunity to consider the relationships and the people that are in your life. And, you know, if you have a friend that you've been like kind of crushing on, consider what's at stake. Is this a friendship that you really are interested in seeing if there's something more? And then shoot your shot.
Oh, that's scary.
Same thing with like people that you're seeing and dating. Like, can you build on that? Can you take this a little bit deeper? Like, can you cross over like somebody that you're just sleeping with? Like, do you want something more out of them? Do you want to have more of a relationship? Like, this is your opportunity to kind of like shed the ideas of labels and starting to really explore and take your relationships into the spaces that you want to take them into.
All right.
It's like a relationship spring awakening.
I almost feel like I know Valentine's Day is a manufactured holiday, but like this feels way more appropriate for it to be in this.
Yeah. Like, it's fun, it's flirty. Well, yeah, especially like Venus. Venus was in like a very kind of like non-sexy space for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there was nothing going on then.
So like this is definitely one where it's like it's a little more spicy, a little more exciting. You want to get a little more like fun and flirty. Like this is like a really fun time to play games like truth or dare, or like go on scavenger hunts, or yeah, like play some really like sexy games that allow you to like be really flirty but get to know each other on a deeper level.
Yes.
Never have I ever.
I don't know why strip poker just came to mind, but yeah.
Because that's fun and flirty. That just always like I can't wrap my head around strip poker because I just always think about that episode of Friends where they played strip happy days game.
No. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back, revisit Friends episode.
Yeah. Please do. It's so good.
Oh,
but I mean, that is actually a really great example of like Venus and Gemini energy, because we did have like there was like some foreshadowing of Monica and Chandler getting flirty with each other before they actually started dating. And then there was the whole like Ross and Rachel of it all. Ross was with another friend, but they were getting flirty, and that's when they started the idea of like, they ended up like getting back together during that trip. Just saying.
Totally get it out. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
sometimes you need like real life examples. And it just makes sense.
Exactly. Okay. Some real life scripted examples of Venus and Gemini.
Exactly.
Okay, so then on the 20th, the sun moves into the sign of Taurus, which starts Taurus season.
Yes.
So like I was saying earlier, the astrological system the wheel really moves as a journey as we move through life. So we're coming out of that Aries energy where we are new and excited and testing boundaries and coming up with all the things that we can do and where passion really sparks in our lives. And we start to narrow in on that, on what it is that we actually want to prioritize, what is going to give us the most joy, what is going to bring us the most benefit in our lives. Where can we really be more efficient and effective in zeroing in? Because Taurus understands that, you know, we can't do everything all at once. We can accomplish everything. We can have it all, but we need to be strategic in how we allow ourselves to do that. So where do we start first? So we don't stretch ourselves thin. Because I will tell you one thing about Taurus. Taurus wants to be rich and secure.
Yes. Amen.
Taurus loves luxury, but it's not going to risk it all for it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Taurus will make, like, if Taurus is going to, like, a perfect example, like Taurus will really like assess, like, building out their wardrobe. They will invest the money on designer, good quality staples in their closet, and then they will splurge on fast fashion when it comes to accessories.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
like that's
nailed
it.
it.
They are not going to break the bank on absolutely everything. They will make smart investments.
Yeah.
Because they appreciate the finer things in life.
Nailed it.
You want to talk dirty to a Taurus? Tell them about your tax-free savings account.
You did not just say that.
For your future.
I freaking love that.
So that's really the energy that we're moving into. Is we've got our vision, we know exactly what it is that we want to be working on. We've got this fresh energy that is us motivated and driven to accomplish those goals, and now we're turning it into action. It's about implementation.
Get chill bumps.
So Taurus is also, like, as much as Taurus is like sensible, loves luxury, loves money, honey, it's also a very sensual energy. So when it comes down to, like, that's part of the reason why Taurus loves the finer things in life, is because there is like when you're feeling really luxurious, it does bring out like the sensual energy. Taurus is ruled by Venus, like loves the finer things in life because it feels pampered, and it feels like it likes those like velvety textures and stuff, you know, like
yeah. Totally feeling this.
Yeah, Taurus again, like I love Taurus. Taurus is like, it also, like, my Cancer is showing when I talk about Taurus, because Taurus make excellent partners for Cancers. Cancer is always looking for security. So is Taurus. Taurus is all about being secure. So Taurus really does provide like that strong foundation that Cancer can feel like they're safe enough to open up with.
Right. I love that. Okay.
Taurus is really like, they don't want to have, like, they never want to feel like the ground is going to open up beneath them. So they're going to make sure that they're doing everything that they can to make sure that they are safe and stable and secure, because they know if they are safe and secure and they've built a strong foundations for themselves, then everything else that comes into their life, the people and everything, they will all be stable and safe and secure for them as well. But they understand that it starts with them. So while we've got some like fiery, chaotic energy coming in with Aries, like, I can do everything. Taurus is like, yeah, I can do everything, but what's going to be the thing that propels me forward most now? What's going to make the biggest impact for me to focus on now? And let's get that checked off the list before I move forward.
Got it. Okay. That feels very much like a line 4 in human design, where it's like, I'm a line 4, so I pick up on this, where it's like, I don't fully move into the next thing until I know this is okay.
Yeah.
And then I can
start spinning a new plate until you know that one's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Got it. Okay.
Okay, so then on the 20th as well, big day, we have our second new moon in Aries.
Okay.
This is coupled with a solar eclipse.
Yes. You did
So
mention that.
big energy happening here. So you
Yes.
guys know our eclipses are like a big cosmic shakeup. There is a lot of like chaotic energy that comes along with this. It's a lot going on. So this is a time where you want to put your moon rituals aside, resist charging any crystals, anything that you would
Oh,
normally do.
don't do that.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is it. Like, take during eclipse season, take the time off. Just exist. Just take care of yourself. Chill
Okay.
out. Because what's happening is like it's like the universe opens up, and like my favorite way to describe it is it's like the universe grabs the fabric of your life and shakes it out. So if you're living in alignment and you're following your intuition and you're doing all the things, what that shakeout is going to happen is it's going to shake you, propelling you forward, and everything's just going to fall into place and happen really, really fast for you.
Okay.
If your life is feeling like a chaotic mess, this is going to be the thing that gets you on track. But a lot of times it feels like everything is falling apart and burning out from underneath you before it happens.
Ooh, okay. So
Right.
that's like that's very clear.
Yeah.
Whichever one of these happens for you, that is your knowledge to know where you've been.
Exactly. And you
What's
know
going
what?
on.
We've all been in these places before. We've all been in the place
Yes.
where it feels like all of a sudden everything is just falling apart for you. And sometimes we know where it's just like things are just really happening sequentially, really fast and moving, like everything is happening for us
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
happening nicely. But just remember, no matter what, whether it feels like you're being challenged and everything is falling apart or everything is happening exactly as you wanted it to so fast, either way, it is happening for you. So letting go and allowing it to happen, whether it feels like it is sucking the life out of you and it's so frustrating, or it is hyping you up. Remember that if you just allow it all to happen and meet everything as it's coming for you, and remembering that it is happening for you, the faster you will move through it.
Got it. Okay. Bring it.
Just like the song that just kicked into my head for this is like Kelly Clarkson, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Turn that song on and listen to it on as you're going through. If it feels like the bottom is falling out, that is the way to go. So like new moon in Aries, we just had one of these. It is an energy that is really fresh and exciting. It is, new moons are fresh energy. It's blank slate. Aries is fresh slate, fresh starts, new beginnings.
Yeah.
And then you add in the solar eclipse on top of that, and it is a lot happening. So take some deep breaths, no matter where you're going through this, let go of rituals, just take care of yourself, give yourself space, give yourself grace, and just ride the roller coaster.
Okay. Okay, so a quick question. Maybe this is quick. When you do someone's like their full year astrology transit, like what we had, where you give me like the full year breakdown, something like this, is this something where you would have seen in my chart that I'm going to like be on the burning up side of it where it's chaotic, or would you have seen in my chart where I'm going to be on the other side and everything's going to fall into place and it'll be easy for me? Or does that just, you can't see that detailed?
I can't see that detail because that's on you.
Oh, okay.
However you want to move through that. I can see the area of your life and what's like most likely going to be coming up, the areas that you're going to be feeling it the most. And then talking about the things that are happening, moving on to that, I can tell you what the energy is going to be happening there. So like we were talking about earlier, like things have been really moving and grooving and falling into place for you, and you're really starting to lighten up. So before we had gotten into this, I said, like, this eclipse is going to launch you forward because you've allowed yourself to live in alignment and really listen to what's coming up for you naturally, but also paying attention to astrologically what's happening around you. And so you're really in this groove of alignment where things are picking up speed for you. And that's going to just launch you even farther forward. If you had been resisting that during this time, I would say this is probably going to be a little bit of a tougher eclipse because the universe is going to be trying to knock you back into place and living in alignment. But you have been really diligent about being consistent and setting up structures for yourself and listening and working and really kind of creating this beautiful life for yourself and business for yourself. So that's going to be something that really benefits for you. So this is not going to be a rough season for you unless you start all of a sudden like resisting everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like remembering always that we have free will. So if this is like a really great opportunity for me to get back on my soapbox, I'm reminding you that, like, if you have a reading with somebody and they tell you that this is going to be a really tumultuous time or like the bottom's going to fall out, it doesn't have to. That's your choice. You have free will. I can't tell you how your life is going to feel for you. I can just tell you what energy is coming around in the areas that are most likely going to be impacted. How you choose to move through that is on you.
Okay. Responsibility.
Yeah, if you come out of a reading and somebody's telling you that like everything's gonna suck and all these like disempowering things, like don't go back and see that person. That ain't it.
Exactly.
You should always leave your readings feeling empowered. It doesn't mean you're going to be told really nice things all the time. But I can't tell you that you're going to like not have kids this year or that you're going to get a divorce or like whatever these things are. You might have trouble in your relationship, but it's just that there's challenges that are going to come up. That's all I can tell you. It's up to you and your partner how you move through those relationships, or you and your money. Like there are things in my chart this year that like really focus on career and finances. I have the opportunity to make sure that I manage all of that well and grow it because there's a lot of potential for expansion in those areas. But if I resist it, it can go in the opposite direction. And if I had somebody who was reading my chart who was not all about empowerment, they would likely be sitting there telling me that I'm going to have money struggles on these months.
And then it's in your head.
And then it's in my head and I'm anticipating it to happen. And then I'm not going to set myself up to really be empowered to make powerful decisions that boost my finances or boost my business.
That is huge. Like seriously, I can tell you right now, I'm not going anywhere else. Like you're it for me.
Well, that makes me really excited. Thank you.
So I'm telling the audience right now, if you haven't already booked a session with Heather, please do. Please, it will change your life. It will rock your world for the best.
I love that. I hope so.
Seriously,
That's the goal of all of this.
Seriously, we're 3 months, almost 4 months in, and every single thing, you know, and I am a worry wart. I have anxiety, and so I'm always checking, double checking, triple checking, and still like there's this underlying peace that I have because of what you have shared with me, and like I have something to go back to, you know. So
it's information, like I feel like I'm gonna get this like tattooed on myself at some point in time. Information empowers.
Yes.
That's all.
And even more so when you use it.
Exactly. So like that, like people get it all like their knickers in a knot and all spun up because we have an eclipse coming up. And then the next day on the 21st, Mercury goes retrograde. So people get all spun up because these tend to be like chaotic times where like things go amok for us. But again, there's nothing to be scared. There's nothing to be worried about because we know that it's coming so we can prepare ourselves.
Exactly.
So we come out of this eclipse and we go right into Mercury retrograde.
We also have the, what did you call it? The pre-grade?
Retrograde,
leading up to Well,
We have,
leading up to the retrograde, like we already
so,
start.
oh, sorry. Yeah. Retro shade.
That's what it is. Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, so retrogrades happen for about 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after we have our retrograde period, which is where the planet starts moving in its direction. So the first retrograde happens for like about the 2 weeks for Mercury before it starts into retrograde. So basically all of April, we're going to be starting to feel this in our communication and technology. So it's going to be starting to shift from the forward movement to its backward movement. So this is happening in the sign of Taurus. And Mercury is the planet of communication and technology. It also rules our travel. So this is a time where if you are going to be traveling, really make sure that you have the details ironed out. Make sure, like, triple check that your passport is good, triple check your reservations, triple check your itinerary, plan ahead of time as you're packing, like make a list, pre-pack what you can, just make sure that you've got all your ducks really in a row. Mercury retrograde is a time for any retrograde, but Mercury retrograde is a time for us to really slow down. It's all those rewords: reassess, realign, reflect, redo. It's a cosmic second chance.
Yes.
So yeah, it's about slowing down. And same thing with the eclipse. It's about slowing down, and it's more of an inactive time for us.
Okay.
So we were talking about this as well. If there's something that you've been wanting to add to your life, this is the time for you to really like question if it's necessary for you to be adding this to it now, or can you give yourself some time to see how things are going to shake out over the next few weeks and then layer it in. So is it going to enhance what it is that you're currently working on, or are you trying to add something completely different into your life? And if it's something that you're adding that's completely new, I would say, if you can, hold off on it until you see how life is going to play out over this next month.
Okay. That's super helpful.
Yeah. So this is a time where,
especially for me.
Yes.
I was gonna say, it's like all of a sudden, and this is how it happens too. Like I've had all these new opportunities come in. It's like, hold on, just wait, just hold on.
Make sure this is a great opportunity where it's going to make sure, like with the eclipse and with this retrograde, especially happening in Taurus, which is we've got this time where we're like getting all these systems in place. We're really starting to step into a project manager role and accomplishing the goals that we've decided are the thing that we need to focus on in our life. This is going to be a time where we can really see any kinks in our plan, so that we can reassess, realign, and make sure that we're not pouring energy into things that are not actually going to be beneficial for us.
Yeah.
So instead of getting frustrated that things aren't happening the way that we thought they would, it's time to step back and see, okay, look at it from like a bird's eye view. Am I frustrated because it's not working the way that I initially said it was going to be? And so really that's an ego thing for me. Or can I see exactly what's going on, and maybe I can make some like pivots, shifts that are going to work even better for me, so that I'm spending my time and money and resources in a more efficient and effective way.
I like that.
Yeah.
That feels good.
It's super frustrating. Like, I'm not going to lie. Eclipses and retrogrades, often frustrating, but it's a gift.
Are they often together? Or that just kind of,
it just kind of is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, like, the last year we had a lot of eclipses, or we had a lot of everything last year.
Yeah.
But they weren't necessarily together.
They weren't necessarily, like, these two are like right stacked on top of each other. So we have Mercury goes retrograde about 4 times a year. And then we have our eclipses twice a year. So they usually, like right now, they're happening like spring and winter time, those eclipses, and then Mercury retrogrades happen sometime like around the same times. Like 2 of them will happen around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are prepared.
Yes. And this eclipse, I should also mention, is on the Aries Libra axis, which is the new axis that we're moving into. We have been on the Scorpio Taurus axis. So we're shifting into Aries Libra eclipses.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long does that last for? since you're saying we have been on the other one.
So it shifts, the axis shifts every like 18 months.
Oh, wow. Okay. So a good chunk of time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll happen. It usually feels like around like 2 years because we'll get, because they move along the north and south nodes. So it'll go through, we'll have a solar and lunar, and then we'll have a lunar and solar, and we'll get like both sides, like Scorpio and Taurus happening in both of them. And then they shift.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's just so much. I love it.
So yeah, so big takeaways, like as we are exiting April, all of April is going to be starting to feel those big shifts and changes. It's going to be a really active month for us. And it's a really active month for us to keep our eyes open and really getting in touch with our intuition, our desires, our passions, and what it is that we are creating for ourselves in our life. Because we're going to be really starting to feel some big shifts and changes in this new energy in this new year that we're creating for ourselves. Especially
I have no words.
as we've got the eclipses going on and we've got retrograde coming back. Like this is our first retrograde of the year. I've been retrograde free all year so far, and it's been so nice.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it. It's funny how quickly you forget, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Now it's
I remember like in January when I was like, you know what, we really enjoy this time because we're going to have almost 4 months where we don't have any retrograde activity. It's just going to be pleasant.
Yes.
And chill.
And it still can be.
Yeah, and
it's all
still
perspective.
It's just about it's just about taking deep breaths.
Yeah.
Just about taking deep breaths.
So maybe get into some breath work this month, meditation, get back to your yoga mat, you know, whatever you need to take care of you.
And just like, I think holding on to the mantra of everything is happening in my favor.
Yes. That's what I need tattooed on me somewhere.
Really, like our little Miss Sheena Shea from Vanderpump Rules, never forget, she got "It's All Happening" tattooed on her forearm when she got engaged and was getting married, and her music career was starting to take off. She got "It's All Happening." And that's something to really hold on. It's all happening.
Okay. I saw the butt coming somewhere, but there's no butt. Okay.
No. Just hold on to that little Sheena Shea nugget. It's all happening. Remember that for yourself, like especially when life starts feeling like it's kicking you. It's all happening for you.
Okay. That
Just look for the opportunity. Look for the lessons. Look for the opportunity.
Yes.
Check your ego at the door.
Always.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's April.
Date? Oh my gosh, that was a lot. I did like, oh my gosh, 3 pages worth of just on the key dates alone.
It's a big month.
Seriously, nice. Okay. Sweet. Any final words? Wisdom?
It's all happening.
If you didn't get the first time, people, there you go again.
To quote Sheena Marie Shea, it's all happening.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, this feels really good. It's just, I'm still just blown away by how it literally is like just puzzle pieces. And every month that we get together and you share what's coming up, it's like, oh, I found the piece. And it fits right here perfectly. This makes sense. You know, and I love how you said earlier, it's like the signs are telling a story. And we're moving through this book of stories basically. And here's the next chapter.
It's just constantly building on each other.
Yeah.
Piece by piece.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's one of the things that I love most about astrology. It's why I love like transit astrology so much, is because we really do get into building on those lessons and seeing how it all connects to itself.
Definitely. No, I really appreciate that. I'm curious, You put my words together here. Okay, so I love how you were saying how with this particular, get my notes. This particular with the eclipse coming, like don't do anything. Basically, like, take care of yourself. Are there any type of like new moon rituals? For example, like if we're, I don't know if there's anything particular that you do or you would recommend that we do during that time.
During this new moon with the eclipse, nothing.
Oh, sorry, full moon. Sorry, yeah, the new moon we don't do anything. The full moon.
The same thing. If it's attached to an eclipse, nothing.
Okay. Okay, so this month do nothing. So then we'll talk next month about maybe some things.
Have a bath, go to sleep. Have a bath, go to sleep. That's it.
I can do that. I can do that.
But when there isn't an eclipse attached to it, I love to put like my crystals out to charge. I make moon water. And for new moons, I write my intentions, like what it is that I want to really focus on. And I write what I'm grateful for in my life at this present moment, and then what I want to layer on and add it into it. New moons are all about new beginnings. It's the beginning of like a new moon marks the beginning of a 6-month pattern or series in your life. That the full moon is the ending of that 6-month chapter. So this like new moon in Aries, 6 months from now, we'll have a full moon in Aries that closes off that chapter. So when you get to the full moon, you want to spend some time reflecting on what's happened in the last 6 months for you. What are the things that came up? What were the intentions that you set? Where were you focusing on your energy? And then it's a time to really close that out. Express gratitude for what you've learned in that time, for the things that have happened, for the growth that you've had. And then let go of anything that you no longer need, what's no longer going to serve you as you move forward in your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I feel like I almost need like a new moon, full moon journal just for that. So I can keep track. Because I write stuff down. It's like next month, I have no idea what I wrote down last month or 6 months ago.
What I always end up doing is like I'll get like my notebook out. It's usually just a 1 sheet of paper, and I'll write down the date and the new moon and the sign that it's in. And then I will, if it's a new moon, like I'll write out what my intentions are. And then I put it underneath like my moon water jar, and I'll leave it out to charge. And then I file it away. Like I have a box that I keep. And then for the full moon, I'll do the same thing where I'll write out the date, the full moon, and then what I'm grateful for that I've accomplished over this last 6 months and what I'm releasing. And then I will put that out and charge and get rid of it, or I'll burn it. And then, yeah, depending on like what it is and like how much of a release I'm really needing. Sometimes I will like write out on a separate piece of paper all the beliefs and what I'm leaving behind, and then I'll burn that mother so that it is out. But sometimes I will just like, it's just, I write it and then I'll set it out, and then I keep those sheets. And then at the end of the year, like I'll go through them, especially at the end of what I like to do on a full moon is go back to the corresponding new moon 6 months before and look at like what I wrote out.
Yes.
And that helps me to reflect.
That's genius. Now, moon water, I'm thinking just a jar of water that you put out.
I put it on my windowsill. I just fill like a cup of water or a jug of water or something and put it out, and then I drink it the next morning. Or some people like water their plants with it, or depending on like the energy. There are some moons where I just don't feel like I need to make moon water. I don't necessarily want more of that energy. So yeah, I just no big rules. Just whatever I feel.
I love that though. I haven't heard of moon water before.
Oh yeah,
try that. Okay,
it's fun. You just put some water out on the windowsill, let it charge up under the moon, and then the next morning, like what I'll do with it on a new moon is I'll read what I wrote the night before while I'm sipping my water and reading my intentions and really getting into like the embodiment of it.
Yes. Okay, this might sound really silly, but I'm going to ask anyway. What if the moon isn't like in your line of sight? Does that matter?
She's there.
Okay. So not literally under the moonlight.
But especially like because a new moon, like you won't see the moon because it's full black.
Right. That's true. Okay.
But if you're making like moon water under a full moon, if that's something that you want to do, don't worry. Like I wouldn't worry too much if you can't see the moon, because the energy is still shining down on you.
Okay. Don't take it literal, people.
Yeah. A lot of these things are really symbolic, and it just helps us. These are actions that help us to anchor into the thing that we want to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ah. All right, my dear. Well, thank you as always.
Oh, thank you.
Setting us up for success.
Yes.
So say it again. Final quote. Everything is happening for me.
Yes.
Remember that. All right, everybody. You got your April notes, your key dates. Come back to this as often as you need to. Write them down, put them in your calendar, and
breathe.
Yeah. That's that I do have tattooed. Breathe. Do you think I'm kidding? Seriously, breathe.
I love it.
So this will be me all month long. Okay.
Yeah, just take a deep breath. It's all happening for me.
Yes. As always,
my favor.
Oh my gosh. And as always, we value your feedback. We love your comments, your questions. Keep them coming in, and follow us on social. I'm gonna start. I'm now that I have some more space, I will be updating my social media with these key dates to remind you, like, hey, don't forget this is coming up, tidbits, and let you know where in the video or the audio you can go back to hear the full conversation in case you need a refresher. So we want to make sure that you feel supported entirely. So
cool.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for your time and energy. Heather, you're amazing. And love the new color. Love brunette Heather. She is rocking it. Love it. Have an amazing rest of your day. World, have an amazing rest of your day, your week, your month, wherever you are in the world and you're listening to this. We appreciate you, and we look forward to connecting again very soon. Enjoy the transits.
Fun, y'all.
Bye for now.